If you think that there's something dubious about actually training people to have those desires that are guaranteed not to be frustrated, then you show that you think the person's well-being doesn't simply consist in having satisfied desires or not having frustrated desires. And even if someone had grown up to be like that, they're happy in their own way, but you might well be sorry for them that they've never been aware of anything else. So I think when you take that view, you're showing that there's something more to a person that makes a difference to their good than simply whether they're frustrated or not, or whether they're enjoying themselves. I think that's the point I was trying to bring out from that example. Does that show you have to be somewhere else now?
We've got another sort of thing. I think we've probably got time for one last question.
With regards to your second point, that naturalism does not say that all natural traits and tendencies fulfill something's nature, and if you were to take a more systemized approach, as you said, could you not end up in a situation where you have a society where the majority endorse some kind of aberration, such as racial genocide, because minority don't believe that this is right, then the ethics would justify it accordingly?
You mean that's a special danger of taking the view of nature that I was describing?
Yes.
Well, I suppose I haven't said how one works out what actually is required by one's nature, but I think in the case you mentioned, if people have false views about nature, they're going to execute them in bad policies. But equally, if they think that all that's needed for well-being is to have satisfied desires, you can also imagine it being executed in bad policies. I suppose a historical example of what I have in mind would be certain kinds of slavery, where you probably know that the American slave owners argued that slaves didn't really want to be in any other situation from the one they were in. Now, maybe they were wrong about that, but even if they were right about it, I think it's doubtful whether you think that shows the slaves were perfectly well off. It would only show that they were so badly off that they'd even been conditioned so as to want the circumstance that they were in. So I think that would be the weakness in the view that simply having what you want is sufficient for being well off.
Is it how we to determine what this human nature is? Is it something we can do on an individual level, or is it a universal thing? How?
I suppose it would be a bit of both, but it is fairly complicated to work out exactly what it would require. But if you think about the fact that there are certain kinds of treatment that you would think appropriate for a dog that you wouldn't think appropriate for a person, that has something to do with the basic differences between a dog and a person that sort of matter from the ethical point of view. And even if a person wanted to be treated like a dog, that wouldn't mean that it was right to treat them like a dog, or that it was good for them to be treated that way. So if you think about the sorts of features that you have in mind in thinking that some sorts of treatment are appropriate for one kind of being in difference with another, that would show something about what goes into judgments about something nature, I suppose.
Just one question. What happens, so I guess that the welfare we're talking about is specific to human beings. So what happens, does this kind of naturalistic ethics puts any kind of constraint on us to promote the welfare of other living organisms if the welfare of other living organisms does not in turn promote our welfare?
Well, it might. I'm not saying that it would sort of be a key to all questions, not to settle all questions about interspecies ethics, but one thing you might predict on the basis of what I've been saying is that degrees of similarity to human nature might be thought to support some degree of similarity of treatment, so that to the extent that dolphins are more similar to us than worms, that would be a reason for treating dolphins differently from worms. I suppose that's the kind of extension that would be plausible to infer from having been said. So that doesn't answer every possible distributive question, but that's the sort of implication that would be natural to draw. So there's one post-last question.
But if you can actually draw a distinction between humans and dogs and their values, then where do you draw the line between drawing the line? After humans also possess a certain difference, so surely this will defeat the point of actually considering each person by their own personal values. So lose objectivity.
Well, there may be. So I don't think there are sort of sharp lines at every point, in the sense that you may have cases that are difficult to say which way they go, but so it seems to me it's more like the distinctions between day and night, where the actual boundary is vague, but it's still an important difference in most cases. So similarly, do you have in mind that human beings might differ from each other in the way that dogs differ from human beings, for instance? Yeah, so I suppose one would need to think about that in more detail, but well, again, I think some of the discussion about slavery that actually happened in this country and in the United States was quite interesting there, because people did try to show that slaves were really more similar to animals than they were to human beings. And all I need to say is that wasn't made out very plausibly. And so I think it would be quite difficult to make out the sort of difference of degree that would raise difficulty with the sort of thing that keep saying.
Professor Irwin, we're really honoured that you're able to take time out to come speak to us today, so thank you very much.